Today is not about hype, it's about infrastructure. It's about reading the architecture being built, not about the noise on the screen. Because the market always realizes the truth after the plumbing is already in place. Let's break down the chart, the Swell developments, the ETF filings, the jobs data, and how all of this ties into our overall XRP thesis. Buckle in, we got a lot to cover today. Good morning, XRP Army. Welcome back to the channel. As always, if it is your first time here, kick back, relax, and enjoy the video. But if it's your second time, that means it's time for payment. I need you to hit subscribe, smash the like button, and please leave a comment. I really appreciate every single one of you. And without further ado, I will not waste your time. Let's go ahead and hop into the chart today. All right, so as you can see, we had quite the sell-off yesterday. We got all the way down to 206. Currently bumped back up to 227.2, and we are on the rise. We have flipped EMA. This is the beginning of a shift. You can see a higher high, a higher high, a higher low from this bottom here. So everything is starting to move upward. Looks like the market has finally caught wind of the ADP data that I got this morning, and we'll discuss that as well. So you can see we're getting a nice spike up. We got some positive ADP data this morning, and I told you that might happen. Currently at 228.1 and rising pre-market, 7:54 Central Time right now. So market opens in 36 seconds. So we are already starting to get a nice push upward, 228.4 right now. Our next levels of resistance, we're going to be looking at this 230 to 232 area. I want to see consolidation in this area. So this is probably going to move up here, consolidate, and then another shot up. We need to break 248 with volume and flip it. So this is going to be our key level that we're paying attention to, this 248 line I have highlighted in red here. We need to flip this with volume, and then more than likely we'll test it for support before we shoot up again. So as far as a timeline goes, we don't know. This can change on a dime, but we did get good data, and we're going to cover everything. So let's go ahead and hop into the news. That's what we're looking at here. Next level that we need to pay attention to is the 248. Once we flip this, we can worry about a continuation to 270. That'll be our next line. But first, we got to worry about 248. Everything's looking good right now, but again, this is just for context. This is not the important thing. So let's go ahead and hop into the news because we have a ton of it. Ripple Swell kicked off yesterday, and we'll go ahead and start with this. Biggest first, Bitnomial expands margin collateral to support RLUSD and XRP. This was announced yesterday at Ripple Swell. Bitnomial adds RLUSD as margin collateral. Bitnomial announced its support on November 4th, 2025, noting it introduced RLUSD as margin collateral. The move represents a major step in the evolution of digital asset trading infrastructure. The platform added in this press release. RLUSD's Ripple US dollar peg stablecoin is now eligible for posting against margin requirements on the platform. Bitnomial's move marks the first instance of a stablecoin serving this function in a CFTC regulated environment. Ripple launched the stablecoin in 2024, a token fully backed by US dollar deposits, short-term US government treasuries, and other cash equivalents. The RLUSD traders can access low volatility alternative to traditional cryptocurrencies for collateral purposes. This support means that users can benefit from the asset that helps reduce the exposure to price fluctuations that often plague volatile assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum. By capitalization, RLUSD is one-to-one pegged to the dollar. Bitnomial minimizes liquidation risk and optimizes capital efficiency, potentially lowering cost of institutional participants. Luke Horston, the CEO of Bitnomial, said in a statement, adding RLUSD and XRP as margin collateral represents major evolution in how traders can deploy their digital assets. RLUSD brings stablecoin efficiency to our margin system, allowing traders to hold USD equivalent positions on-chain while accessing our full suite of derivatives products. The integration expands Bitnomial's partnership with Ripple amid expansion in the US market, Horston added. So, first ever for collateral against derivatives, that is major. And they did include XRP, not just RLUSD. We touched on this yesterday. RLUSD stablecoin hits 1 billion market cap and enters the top 10 globally. They reiterated this at Ripple Swell yesterday. I won't cover this too much, but they did this. They went from 900 million to a billion from October 24th to November 3rd. 10 days, they expanded that. That is a massive, massive swing. Moving on, we got ETF news. Everyone loves ETF news. Franklin Templeton has amended their S1 filing. Signals the firm's aim to launch an XRP ETF within the month. Also, Grayscale and Canary Capital have all amended. So now we have 3 ETFs slated to go live in November, assuming the stock market accepts them, which I don't see why they won't, considering they've already started accepting other ones. It says Canary Funds recently updated its S1 filing for XRP ETF by removing delaying amendment, aiming for launch pending exchange approval. Bitwise confirms plans for XRP ETF to list on major exchange, signaling readiness for potential near-term debut. So we have Canary Capital, we have Grayscale, and we have Franklin Templeton, all planning to launch their ETFs this month. But let's keep it going. So what do we got? We got good news from Ripple Swell. Good news from Ripple. Okay, let me start over on that. What do we got so far? We have good news from Ripple Swell. We have ETFs coming online. And we have more positive news. Wednesday is going to be a great day, everyone. Grayscale updates their XRP ETF filing before Ripple Swell. They did that yesterday. I just told you that. We're going to move on here. Ripple Swell XRPL roadmap targets institutions with new lending privacy tools. Again, new features being released at Ripple Swell. I told you there was going to be a ton of new news. Ripple is rolling out a fresh game plan for the XRP ledger, and this one is built with institutions in mind. The roadmap focuses on lending, privacy, and compliance, all aimed at making XRPL a serious contender in the world of regulated finance. Ripple seems to be saying loud and clear that they want the banks, funds, and bigger players to feel confident building on its blockchain. Lending comes first in version 3.0. One of the biggest updates coming in the native lending protocol baked directly into XRPL's next upgrade. This new system will let lenders pool their assets and offer credit using something called single asset vaults. These vaults are designed to handle liquidity, track who owns what, and keep clear records of loans and repayments. What makes it more flexible is that institutions can use their own risk models off-chain, so they do not need to give those up to participate. Building with privacy without losing transparency. To help institutions manage privacy while still meeting compliance standards, Ripple is working on a zero-knowledge proof tools. These will allow assets to be managed and verified without revealing the full details behind every single transaction. So, for example, an auditor could confirm a firm has the reserves it claims without seeing any private financials. This is Ripple's way of saying it's possible to keep regulators happy without giving up sensitive information. So they're working out the kinks. That's what this new update is. They're trying to tie it into TradFi because full decentralization is not going to work on standard finance. It's just not. So we're going to have a bridge of some sort. I, just like everyone else, want full decentralization, but we're going to have to figure out a way to make the system work the way it is, everybody. But this is still bullish news that, again, more rolling out on the XRPL for institutions. This is going to create adoption. RLUSD is ramping up. This is going to create adoption. Bitnomial is going to be using RLUSD and XRP. This is adoption, 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 and Rails, guys. This is what we're paying attention to. But we're going to move on because I have even more good news for you that ties into this. Yesterday, an outline of a potential deal to end the government shutdown emerges as senators continue talks. On November 4th at 4:02 p.m. Eastern, so pretty much right as the markets were about to close, the contours of a potential deal to reopen the government began to emerge on Tuesday as the shutdown was poised to become the longest in history, with senators discussing an agreement that would fund the government alongside long-term appropriations bills in exchange for a vote on extending health insurance tax credits that Democrats have demanded. A bipartisan group of senators has been engaged in conversations in recent days as lawmakers search for an off-ramp in the shutdown fight. Senate Majority Leader John Thune told reporters on Tuesday morning that he's hopeful the bipartisan group is close to a solution, while acknowledging the cross pressures that everybody's feeling are great. Republicans argue that Democrats are waiting until after Tuesday's elections to back down, claiming they don't want to discourage their base from turning out to vote. A 14th vote on advancing the GOP-backed continuing resolution failed on Tuesday, with no new Democrats crossing the aisle. So basically, this is all political ploy. Democrats don't want to back down on their stances because of the elections that were happening on Tuesday, and they don't want their constituents to not vote for them because they backed down, essentially. So it was just kind of a wait and see. I would not be shocked if the government reopens Thursday or Friday. Monday at the latest, in my opinion. I would be willing to, I will shave my beard. I will shave my beard if we are not reopened by Monday. I'm going to grow it out till then, and if Monday we are not reopened, I will be on here clean shaven for y'all. I don't know what else I can bet right now because I ain't going to bet y'all money. But Governments reopening, bullish. ETFs amended, bullish. Ripple Swell, bullish. Price going up, bullish. ADP, bullish. Everything is bullish, guys. It is all lining up XRP. Here is the ADP data we were talking about. I have receipts. Private payroll rose 42,000 in October, more than expected, and countering labor market fears, ADP says. Private companies added 42,000 jobs in October, following a decline of 29,000 in September, and topping the Dow Jones consensus estimate of 22,000. So we came in 20,000 above. This is bullish. Okay, this is why the market is taking off. I told you if we saw it print low, we were going to see a decline, further worsening of the markets from yesterday. And if it was positive, I thought we were going to see a bump up. Again, not financial advice, but it looks like we were right. Here is your receipt. So Coin Edition, I don't have it. That's the grayscale thing I pulled up earlier. So that is everything. So jobs data, I want to talk about that real quick. That is just private. That is not government. Okay, so because of the government shutdown, we don't have any government data. We're currently at 227.9, almost back up to 228 and climbing. Market's going to be opening in about 25 minutes. I expect us to shoot up. First, we need to clear that 230, 232 area we were talking about. That is our next level of resistance. We'll probably do some consolidating in there. All right, that is everything for today. As you can see, we have nothing but positive news. We have the government looking to reopen. We have ETF filings slated to go live in November. We have adoption of XRP and RLUSD at scale happening in real time. If you actually understand what's happening here and what we're watching here, you know that this is not a trade. This is infrastructure. This is generational positioning. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate every single one of you. You are all my favorites. Please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment. If you made it to the end of the video, let's say plumbing over price, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Let's build it up, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Later.